if you have clicked on this video, you must be an overthinker just like me, and you must be wondering, well, I think all the time, how can I stop overthinking? Hi everybody, this is Dr. Samreen. If you're new to my channel, I am a PhD graduate from the UK and currently I'm working here as well. And I make videos about how we can really improve our daily lives with taking some really small actions. So I got this idea of making this video last week when I was going to have a very tough meeting, and I kept thinking about this meeting, how this meeting would go, what would I say, what the person I was meeting is going to say. I spent almost the whole week thinking about all different scenarios and all the ifs and all the buts and whatnot. And when that meeting happened, to my shock, nothing of that sort happened which I had thought, and everything just went normal. And though on one hand I felt relieved, but on the other hand I was thinking, why did I waste a whole week? Why I kept on stressing about all the ifs and buts, because the meeting didn't really go bad at all. And I realized that was my overthinking, which made me fear, stress, worry, and all of those things about something which never even happened. And that's the story of most of our lives. We think of those things which actually don't even happen. And so in order to know how can we overcome overthinking, it's important to understand why we even overthink in the first place. Because you might think, well, if I'm reflecting and if I'm thinking to improve myself, that surely is not overthinking. And you're right. Dr. Susan from Yale University, who actually pioneered in this field of research, found out that when people keep on engaging in the negative thought patterns, their causes and all the negative experiences, it causes them to overthink. And they keep on thinking about the same things in the loop without even realizing they're doing it. And so, reason number one of why we really overthink comes back from the survival mode of our brain from ancient times. You see, our brains are wired for survival and not happiness. And so back in the day, danger kept us alive. We always kept an eye and ear open for anything around us. If we heard ruffling of the trees, we knew there's an animal going to attack us. Now, of course, times have changed and now we live in the modern era. However, that part of our brain has not really changed. So in today's day and age, that fear of survival has been replaced by the fear of presenting, the fear of receiving that text, the fear of having that meeting. And all these fears come together in our minds and forces us to overthink. It forces us to think about all the different situations, all possible consequences which might happen and how we would really face it. So basically it tries to prepare us, but it fails miserably. The second reason that why do we really overthink is the fear of judgment. We are always worried about what others would think, what others would say, how people would look at us. We are always worried about that negative consequence or judgment around us. And so in our minds, what we think we are doing, we are trying to overcome that, but in reality that's not happening. Third reason why we keep on overthinking is because we really want to be perfect. Now my friends, let me break this to you. Perfection is a myth. Nobody in this world can achieve perfection. Of course, you can be excellent, and yes, we should strive for excellence, but when it comes to perfectionism, it cannot be achieved. There is something or the other which somebody would find and you would realize, well, whatever you have done is not perfect. I worked on my PhD, and even though I knew at one point that my work was good enough, I kept on trying to make it perfect. And guess what? It only added to my stress and delayed my PhD submission. Because even though when I submitted my PhD, once I was pronounced a doctor, later on I met somebody at a conference and they told me, well, in your work, you could have done this better. Now in my head, I thought I've made a perfect attempt to make my work perfect, but guess what? It wasn't, of course, because humanly it's not possible. Another reason why we overthink is because we're not really clear of what we want. Now let's take an example of our food choices. Many times you're overthinking about what to eat because we are not really clear if we want to feed our soul or if we want to feed our body. Similarly, sometimes you'll find people overthinking about what should they wear. Or sometimes people are not clear about their career choices. Sometimes they are not clear about their relationship choices. And because of that lack of clarity, we keep on overthinking about that. We keep on weighing our options. And that just keeps us busy in our mind without taking a clear action. And finally, we overthink because paradox of choice. As psychologists call this term based on the information overload we have these days. We have so many choices. If you're trying to eat healthy, the minute you open your social media, you have hundreds of choices to go by. Now, of course, in the world we live in of AI and ChatGPT, you can just type in anything and it would give you so many choices that now you're sitting there thinking, well, which should I choose? So it again makes you overthink. And while doing the research for this video, it really helped me understand why do I overthink. And I thought to myself, you know what, let me just make a video series on overthinking. First of all, to accept and acknowledge why do we overthink, and then looking into strategies which can help us not to overthink. So stay tuned. Do subscribe to my channel, because in the next video, I'm going to talk about how can we stop overthinking. Until next video, take care. Bye.